CBSE Biology Class 10 Chapter 16 Management of Natural Resources Part 3A. Let us learn the biology chapters through questions and answers, which most of the students prefer. Note that PG here is for page, PR for paragraph in your textbook. Questions are in yellow color, answers are in white color. How the forest resources ought to be used in India. We need to accept that human intervention has been very much a part of the forest landscape. What has to be managed in the nature and extent of this intervention, forest resources ought to be used in a manner that is both environmentally and developmentally sound. In other words, while the environment is preserved, the benefits of the controlled exploitation go to the local people, a process in which decentralized economic growth and ecological conservation go hand in hand. Why the environment is not regarded as a pristine collection of plants and animals. The kind of economic and social development we want will ultimately determine whether the environment will be conserved or further destroyed. The environment must not be regarded as a pristine collection of plants and animals. It is a vast and complex entity that offers a range of natural resources for our use. We need to use these resources with due caution for our economic and social growth and to meet our material aspirations. Why it is said the goals of all the stakeholders with regard to the management of the forests are not the same. Yes, we need to consider if the goals of all the stakeholders with regard to the management of the forests are the same. Forest resources are often made available for industrial use at rates far below the market value, while these are denied to the local people. What was the Chipko Andolan? The Chipko Andolan, Hug the Trees movement, was the result of a grassroots level effort to end the alienation of people from their forests. The movement originated from an incident in a remote village called Reni in Garhwal, high up in the Himalayas during the early 1970s. Why and how the Chipko Andolan was executed? There was a dispute between the local villagers and a logging contractor who had been allowed to fell trees in a forest close to the village. On a particular day, the contractor's workers appeared in the forest to cut the trees. While the men folk were absent, undeterred, the women of the village reached the forest quickly and clasped the tree trunks, thus preventing the workers from felling the trees. Thus thwarted, the contractor had to withdraw. What did we learn from the Chipko Andolan? Inherent in such a competition to control a natural resource is the conservation of a replenishable resource. Specifically, the method of use was being called into question. The contractor would have felled the trees, destroying them forever. The communities traditionally lopped the branches and plucked the leaves only, allowing the resource to replenish over time. What was the after effect of the Chipko movement? The Chipko movement quickly spread across communities and media and force the government to whom the forest belongs to rethink their priorities in the use of forest produce. Experience has taught people that the destruction of forests affected not just the availability of forest produces but also the quality of soil and the sources of water. Participation of the local people can indeed lead to the efficient management of forests. Why West Bengal Forest Department failed to conserve the indigenous sal forests? In 1972, the West Bengal Forest Department recognized its failures in reviving the degraded sal forests in the southwestern districts of the state. Traditional methods of surveillance and policing had led to a complete alienation of the people from the administration, resulting in frequent clashes between forest officials and villagers. Forest and land-related conflicts in the region were also a major factor in fueling the militant peasant movements led by the Naxalites. How people's participation improved West Bengal forest. The Forest Department changed its strategy, making a beginning in the Aravari forest range of Midnapur district. Here, at the instance of a far-seeing forest officer, A.K. Banerjee, villagers were involved in the protection of 1272 hectares of badly degraded sal forest. In return for help in protection, villagers were given employment in both silviculture and harvesting operations. 25% of the final harvest allowed for fuelwood and fodder collection on payment of a nominal fee. With the active and willing participation of the local community, the sal forests of Arabari underwent a remarkable recovery. By 1983, a previously worthless forest was valued Rs 12.5 crores. End of this part. Dear students, share your doubts and questions to this email. The email ID is given here. The question answers of this chapter will be continued in next video.